Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show where we take a stack of incredible sources and extract the most important nuggets of knowledge to get you truly well-informed.
And today, we are definitely diving deep.
We're plunging into a world that's often shrouded in, well, sensationalism and, frankly, a lot of misunderstanding.
Yeah.
The teachings of Aleister Crowley. You've likely heard the notorious headlines, the dramatic accusations. But our mission today is really to cut through all of that noise.
Indeed. We're going far beyond the tabloid stuff and that infamous label, the wickedest man in the world.
Right.
Our deep dive today is centered on Lon Milo DuQuette's The Magick of Thelema, a handbook of the rituals of Aleister Crowley. And this isn't just another book on Crowley. It's quite unique, deeply researched.
It really is. DuQuette's book is our primary source, and you can tell it's built on solid ground.
Yep.
Over 20 years of his personal research,
Yeah.
including interviews with people who actually knew Crowley, plus access to some truly incredible archival material.
We're talking direct access to the Ordo Templi Orientis archives, materials from the University of Texas, Syracuse, the Warburg Institute. I mean, serious stuff.
Exactly. So he brings this perspective that just systematically cuts through decades of accumulated myth and, misconception. It gives us something grounded and, I think, quite profound.
So our goal today isn't really to sensationalize or condemn. It's about unpacking what Crowley actually taught.
Yes.
The profound spiritual concepts he presented, and trying to separate that from the wild accusations that have followed him for, well, over a century now.
We're here to understand the man's actual work, uncover some surprising facts that emerge when you actually look past the smoke and mirrors.
To the substance.
All right, let's unpack this immediately, because the very first thing DuQuette does in his book is confront Crowley's notorious public persona head-on.
He has to, really.
You have to. If you've ever heard anything about Crowley, it's probably been something like black magician, Satanist, maybe human sacrifice.
Oh, but what goes on? Eating babies, Hitler's guru.
Seriously. Decapitated Amelia Earhart.
Apparently. And that he sank the Titanic. I mean, it gets pretty wild.
It's quite the list.
And DuQuette clarifies very emphatically that Crowley was none of these things. Though he does add, with a certain dryness, that Crowley seemed to enjoy being accused of such things.
Which is telling in itself.
It is. He points out that the dark and frightening imagery you find in Crowley's writings is really no more extreme than what you'd find in many traditional religious texts, East or West.
That's a really good point. Think about Revelation or some Hindu depictions.
Exactly. Fire and brimstone, apocalyptic visions, grotesque deities in some ancient traditions. Crowley's work kind of fits right into that lineage, aesthetically speaking.
What's truly fascinating here, though, is how Crowley's personality seems to have become this kind of deliberate filter, almost designed to obscure the deeper stuff from, let's say, casual observers.
Yes. DuQuette suggests that Crowley often overestimated the level of sophistication and education of his readers. And crucially, he took fiendish delight in terrifying those who were either too lazy or too slow-witted to understand him.
Wow. So if you weren't willing to put in the work, the intellectual and spiritual effort.
He was perfectly happy to let you stay terrified by the surface theatrics. It was almost a test.
That's a critical insight into his method, isn't it?
Absolutely. And a prime example DuQuette gives is this seemingly preposterous statement in Crowley's big work, Magick in Theory and Practice.
Okay.
In it, Crowley appears to confess to sacrificing over 156 male children in 1 year.
Oh my God. Yeah, you can see how that would be used against him.
For decades, it was wielded as definitive proof of his depravity. But DuQuette, with his access and deep understanding, reveals this was an outrageous literary blind.
A blind, meaning?
Meaning it wasn't literal. He explains it was a technical, esoteric reference to a specific sexual magic technique. It actually referred to ejaculation without pregnancy.
Whoa, okay, that changes everything.
It's a crucial aha moment for anyone who's only encountered the sensationalized version. It transforms this horrifying accusation into an indication of a highly specialized, maybe unconventional, but internal spiritual practice.
So definitely not actual babies.
Definitely not.
But a very specific, deeply esoteric sexual practice used within a magical context.
Okay.
And his overall goal, it seems, wasn't mass appeal then, not immediate understanding.
Not at all. He didn't seem to care if his writings were misunderstood for generations. What mattered to him was that his works would be understood and appreciated only by the few individuals capable of doing so.
Right.
And that they would survive to reach them long after his death. It's a vision for, I suppose, profound revolutionary thought, not just instant popularity.
That speaks volumes about his long-term vision.
It does. And while he certainly led an extremely eccentric lifestyle and engaged in scandalous behavior by the standards of his time, Victorian Edwardian society,
Which DuQuette acknowledges.
readily acknowledges, and notes how much times have changed, right? Many things considered scandalous then are, well, more accepted today, or at least seen as personal choices. But those personal aspects shouldn't overshadow the profound spiritual content he explored.
And his religious stance, he was clearly anti-establishment.
Oh, vehemently.
Yeah.
He despised the hypocrisy and the spiritually restrictive aspects of established religions, including Christianity. Very anti-clerical.
But not anti-spiritual.
No, and that's the key distinction DuQuette makes. A careful examination of his writings reveals a profound understanding and respect for the pure spiritual impulse that is at the heart of all religions.
So it wasn't spirituality itself he rejected.
It was the institutions, the organized religions he felt stifled genuine spiritual experience. His critique was specific and often scathing, but aimed at the structure, not the core impulse.
Okay. And DuQuette doesn't shy away from Crowley's flaws either.
Not at all. He's clear that Crowley was by no means perfect. He was not good with people, often alienated those who loved him dearest. And his extensive explorations of sexuality and drugs, while, yes, meticulously recorded and analyzed in his private writings.
For his own magical research, presumably.
Yes, as part of his scientific approach to inner states. But they were never intended to be casually emulated. DuQuette himself states he never encountered anyone who knew him that did not disapprove of some aspect of his character or behavior.
So it's a balanced perspective. We explore the depths, but acknowledge the complexity, the problematic aspects of the man.
Absolutely necessary. You can't really understand the work without acknowledging the vessel, flaws and all.
This nuanced picture really sets the stage, then, for understanding his core philosophy. Which brings us to the definition of magic itself. Capital M, capital K.
Right, a term that is so often gravely misunderstood, especially outside of these circles.
So what was his definition?
Crowley's core definition is remarkably simple on the surface, but incredibly profound when you unpack it. Magic is the art and science of causing change to occur in conformity with will.
Okay, art and science. Conformity with will, not just pulling rabbits out of hats.
Not at all. It's about intentional, directed action aligned with your deepest purpose, your true will.
Right, because if you take that definition literally, it suddenly applies to everyday life, doesn't it?
Completely. Even something as mundane as brushing your teeth, walking the dog, or even paying your taxes
Mundane, yeah.
can be considered magic if it's done consciously in conformity with your genuine will. It becomes an act of focused intention towards an outcome, not just habit or chore.
And conversely, what's an unmagical act?
DuQuette explains that as any unwilled action, like reflexively reaching for a cigarette when stressed.
Or ordering that fourth martini.
Exactly, out of habit or compulsion. These are behaviors that override the momentum of one's life focus, actions that pull you away from your deepest will, your true path. It highlights that constant, often unconscious battle between our conscious intent and our reactive patterns.
So in a very real sense, as DuQuette points out, we are all magicians, whether we realize it or not.
We are. He says we are either competent or incompetent practitioners of our craft. Most highly successful people, he argues, don't even realize they're doing what could be called magic. They go through life striving to make changes happen in conformity with their will. Consistently. Powerfully.
They've intuitively figured out the science part without needing the label.
Precisely. They've made a science out of aligning action with intention.
This really reframes magic, then, from something purely occult and mysterious into, well, a practical, albeit spiritual, approach to living intentionally.
Exactly. It moves away from surrendering your will to some external will of God, like in many traditional religions.
Towards an internal alignment.
Towards finding and aligning with your own deepest, truest purpose. The Thelemic magician doesn't want the burden of existence lifted. They want to understand why they're carrying it, where they're going, and how to carry it with power and focus.
And central to this understanding of magic are what Crowley called magical formulae. Now, this isn't spells in the Harry Potter sense, right?
No, not at all. A magical formula, according to DuQuette, is essentially a statement of perceived cosmological fact or theory.
So it could be quite simple.
It could be. An axiom like, loves thy neighbor as thyself, or even something practical like, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, if it reflects a perceived truth about how things work.
Or it could be more profound, like a natural law.
Yes, like the Hermetic principle, as above, so below, or even modern scientific equations like EMC. These are formula describing reality.
And in Thelema, the ultimate formula is?
Love is the law, love under will. That's the core formula of the current eon. But a formula can even be a single word that initiates an entire historical and spiritual age, like TAO, or A A, or Thelema itself.
What's truly fascinating is DuQuette's explanation that these formula aren't static, they evolve.
Yes, they evolve from older magical formula as humanity's ability to perceive itself and the universe increases. A profound change in consciousness demands a change in the dominant formula.
So the old ones aren't wrong, just
Yeah. Exactly. It's not that the old one stops working entirely, it's just that the new one works better, or more comprehensively, reflecting an expanded understanding. Older formulae gets amended or fine-tuned.
He uses that analogy of the carpenter and pie, right?
Yeah, it's a bit crude, he admits, but illustrative. Imagine an ancient carpenter using 3 for pi. Worked fine for small things.
Good enough for a stool.
Right. But for building pyramids or complex temples, you needed the magic of A with its infinite precision. Once that new, more precise formula became known, the world of construction and human capability fundamentally changed.
The old way wasn't wrong, just limited. The new way opened up possibility.
Precisely. It's about expanding knowledge leading to more refined understanding. And this progressive understanding applies directly to one of Thelema's grandest concepts, the eons.
Ah, the eons. This is where we get into the big picture, the spiritual history of humanity, according to Thelema.
Yes. DuQuette stresses these great spiritual periods, ages or eons, are very important and fundamental to the understanding of magic in general, and Thelemic magic in particular. They provide a powerful lens.
Not just for history, but for the evolution of consciousness itself.
Absolutely. And while there's some overlap with popular ideas like the Age of Aquarius or the New Age,
it's not the same thing.
No, DuQuette emphasizes these magical eons are far greater in scope, vast epochs. Crowley saw them almost as gods, as defining cosmic forces.
And he identified the ancient Egyptian trinity Isis, Osiris, and Horus as embodying the formulae of the last 3 great eons.
Correct. Each eon, each god, reflects the dominant understanding of nature and the self during that period, which then dictates the main magical and religious expressions of the time.
So to really get this, we need to understand the Osiris myth first.
We really do. It's a foundational narrative, revised over millennia, but its core imagery is deeply embedded in our collective psyche, shaping countless traditions.
Okay, give us the brief version.
All right. It starts with the creator, Timu, emerging from chaos, creating Shu and Tefnet. They create Geb, Earth, and Nut, Sky, who then have 4 kids, Osiris, Isis, Seth, and Nephthys.
The main players?
Right. Osiris becomes king with his sister wife Isis. They bring a golden reign, ending anarchy, cannibalism, introducing cultivation. Civilization begins.
But then comes the jealousy. Seth.
Always the jealous brother. Seth conspires, builds a beautiful box perfectly sized for Osiris, tricks him into getting inside at a party.
Like a party trick gone wrong.
Horribly wrong. Seth and his cronies nail it shut, throw it in the Nile.
Terrible. So Isis searches for him.
Devastated, she quests for the body. Finds it in Byblos, encased in a tree that became a palace column, recovers it, and then on the journey back, a miracle.
The conception of Horus?
Exactly. She lies upon the body. Osiris's phallus miraculously erects. She conceives their divine son, Horus.
Wow. But Seth isn't done, is he?
Not even close. He finds the hidden body, steals it, dismembers it into 14 pieces, scatters them across Egypt.
Oh, gruesome.
Isis quests again, finds all but the phallus eaten by fish. But she magically reassembles Osiris, making him immortal, ruler of the afterlife. This becomes the basis for the Book of the Dead, the formula for salvation.
And Horus grows up to avenge his father.
Yes, the great struggle against Seth begins, symbolizing the ongoing conflict between order and chaos, life and death.
And DuQuette points out the parallels everywhere.
Everywhere. Greece, Demeter Persephone, Orpheus Eurydice, Gnostics, I.A.O. But most striking to the Western mind, he says, are the parallels with Christianity.
The wise savior, murdered through treachery.
Nailed to a tree, the mourning devotee, resurrection providing salvation for the world. All very Osirian, as he puts it. It shows the enduring power of these archetypal myths.
It really is incredible how these stories repeat. So let's break down the eons themselves, starting with Isis.
Okay, the Aeon of Isis. Formula. The great goddess, prehistory up to around 2400 BC. The core perception. Nature is a continuous process of spontaneous growth.
Woman as the source.
Exactly. Mother was life. Earth was mother, God was woman. Life came directly from the earth, from women. Communities were often matriarchal, living intuitively with nature's cycles.
On death.
A mystery, feared, unknown. The focus was on the immediate, spontaneous generation of life from the mother.
Then comes the shift, the Aeon of Osiris.
Around 2400 BC, lasting till the early 20th century. Formula, the dying god. Consciousness shifts. The sun becomes recognized as the primary source of life. Earth's fertility depends on sunlight.
So life is now a partnership.
Partnership of sun and earth, man and woman, phallus and dice. God becomes father. This brought huge changes, large-scale agriculture, cities, nations, patriarchies. Goddesses often became wives to male gods.
But this also brought a new focus on death.
A profound, dark reality, an all-consuming preoccupation. People saw the sun die daily in the West, yearly in winter. It brought fear, introspection about mortality. Dreams became visits to the land of the dead.
But within that fear, a new truth emerged.
Yes. Without death, there is no life. The sun dies to be reborn. The seed dies in the earth to resurrect as a plant. Ejaculation sacrifices potency for new life.
Which led to literal sacrifice.
Often, yes. Actively participating in the life-death ritual. Altars, blood, flesh, offered back to the earth to ensure renewal.
And this formula became dominant.
Absolutely. By 260 BC, the age of Pisces, the dying god formula was central everywhere. Mystery cults, Orpheus, Dionysus, Attis, Christ. Orthodox Christianity is fundamentally Osirian in its core myth.
But then our modern understanding changes things again.
Radically. Science reveals the mistaken belief about the sun dying. We now know the sun stays on all the time. The light is continuous. The setting is just an optical illusion, Earth rotating.
So the entire basis for the fear
dissolves. No need to fear the dark. There is no need to fear death. This scientific shift fundamentally alters the Osirian worldview.
Which paves the way for the current Aeon, Horus.
The Aeon of Horus. Early 20th century onwards. Formula, the crowned and conquering child. This Aeon reconciles and transcends both Isis and Osiris, integrating their truths into a higher understanding.
And we see this manifesting in the world.
DuQuette argues yes. The fall of colonialism, weakening patriarchal rule, less church power, simultaneously resurgence of Earth Mother awareness, environmentalism, the woman's movement, goddess cults. It's like Isis returning, but within a new framework.
Which established Osirian structures would see as anarchy.
The last famous examples of spiritual anarchy, yes.
Yeah.
But DuQuette uses that analogy, like the strife families experience when a child grows up and finally leaves home.
Humanity is the child growing up.
We are the self-aware child, recognizing the continuity of existence, continual growth, and crucially, the individual as the basic unit of society. We will never return to the flawed and incomplete perceptions of the past. It's a shift to self-ownership, individual realization.
This profound shift is the essence of Thelema, then.
Absolutely. Which brings us directly to its foundational text.
Liber Resh, the Book of the Law. Described as the very core of Thelema, the essence of the Aeon of Horus.
And its central decree is immediately arresting. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Sounds liberating. Maybe a little terrifying.
Right. But then, paradoxically, the book also says, the study of the book is forbidden. It is wise to destroy it.
Wait, what? Study it, but destroy it.
DuQuette acknowledges he's walking a tightrope, even discussing it. He says, it is entirely up to each of us to fathom its meaning in relationship to our individual lives. It's not dogma. It's a catalyst for personal gnosis.
And its origin story is quite something.
Extraordinary. Dictated by an audible voice from a being called Awas, described as the minister of Horus.
Creator human intelligence.
That's the claim. Dictated to Crowley, using his magical name Ankh-Nakonsu in Cairo over 3 intense hours in April 1904.
And Crowley held it as sacred.
Absolutely. A Class A publication, meaning in no wise permitted to alter it. Utterly foundational.
Okay, so who are the key players, the deities in this book?
It introduces a Thelemic trinity. First, Nu-it, the naked splendor of Nu-it. She is infinite space and the infinite stars thereof.
The ultimate expanse.
The star goddess, who is the category of unlimited possibility. Think of her as the circumference of the circle, the infinity of an expanded universe. All things exist within her body. Her joy is in our joy. Her word is 6 and 50.
And the center point.
That's Hadid. He declares, my secret center, my heart and my tongue, depicted as a winged globe at the heart of Nu-it. He's the infinity of an ultimately contracted universe, the point in the center of the circle.
The individual perspective within the infinite.
the ubiquitous point of view, the only philosophically tenable conception of reality. He says, I am the flame that burns in every heart of man and the core of every star. And intriguingly, knowledge of me, the knowledge of death, implying a dissolution of the separate self into the universal point.
And their child.
Bahuquit, the crowned and conquering child, born from the infinite contact of Nuit and Hadit. Their interplay creates the field of operation for the universe. He's also called Heru Raha, a double god, active Rahuquit, passive Horpakrat.
And he transcends the old gods.
Explicitly. He has taken his seat in the east at the equinox of the gods, and let Azar Osiris be with Isis, who also are one. But they are not of me. He declares his own new eon.
This is where it gets really interesting. The core principles laid out in the book, they challenge everything.
Radically. Starting with, every man and every woman is a star.
Which means?
A profound affirmation of individual divinity, autonomy, uniqueness. Each of us is a self-contained universe, a star, connected but not bound. Sovereign.
And connection comes through.
There is no bond that can unite the divided but love. All else is a curse. Love here isn't just sentiment, it's a fundamental cosmic principle of attraction, harmony, facilitating the unfolding of each star.
And the nature of action.
Pure will, unassuaged of purpose, delivered from the lust of result, is every way perfect. Act from inner truth, detached from ego's desire for specific outcomes. Let the will manifest perfectly.
Then there's that definition of sin.
The word of sin is restriction. This completely flips tradition. Sin isn't moral failure. It's anything that restricts or hinders your true will. It's a call to authenticity above all else.
And the statement about rituals. Abrogate are all rituals.
All ordeals, all words and signs. Yet the book itself then describes the new rituals. It's a deliberate paradox.
Designed to make you think, not just obey blindly.
Exactly. It forces engagement, questioning. It clarifies about love, too. Love is the law. Love under will, nor let the fools mistake love. For there are love and love. There's the dove and there's the serpent. Choose ye well.
Implying love isn't just gentle, it can be fierce, transformative. The serpent power.
Precisely. Nuit promises unimaginable joys on earth. Certainty, not faith. Peace unutterable, rest, ecstasy. Nor do I demand aught in sacrifice. It offers a path free from fear and obligation.
Hadit offers something different.
More ecstatic, perhaps disruptive. I am the snake that giveth knowledge and delight and bright glory, and stir the hearts of men with drunkenness. A Dionysian force.
And then those really challenging words from Hadit.
Yes. King against king. Love one another with burning hearts. On the low men trample in the fierce lust of your pride, in the day of your wrath. That often shocks people.
Understandably. How is that usually interpreted within Thelema? It sounds brutal.
It raises that crucial question. If the law is do what thou wilt, how do you know your will amidst all the noise? These harsh words are often seen as a call to fiercely assert your true divine will, the king, within, against anything, internal or external, that would suppress it.
So trampling on low men isn't literal.
Generally interpreted, no. It's symbolic, conquering your own internal weaknesses, fears, conditioning the low men within that hold you back from your highest potential, your pride in your own divinity. It's about internal mastery, rejecting limitations imposed by convention or your own lesser nature.
Conquer the internal opposition, the restrictions.
Exactly. Identify with your highest self, the king, and ruthlessly discard anything low that prevents its expression.
Okay, that reframes it significantly. The book itself seems designed to provoke this kind of deep, personal interpretation, forging a direct relationship with these forces.
That seems to be the intent. And once you start grappling with these ideas, the next step is practical application, self-mastery through ritual.
Right, the actual practice. Where does one start?
DuQuette explains the magician's first task is to master his or her immediate environment. Crowley's quote is key. If thou thyself hast not a sure foundation, whereon wilt thou stand to direct the forces of nature?
Makes sense. Internal order first, which connects to Kabbalah.
Deeply. The four elements, fire, water, air, earth, reflect the four Kabbalistic worlds, planes of creation from spirit to matter. Etzeluth, Braya, Yetzirah, Asaya.
And the Tetragrammaton, IHVH.
Also linked. Yad fire, Hey water, Vow air, Hey final earth. Different aspects of divine manifestation. And tarot suits align. Wands fire, cups water, swords air, discs earth.
But the pentagram has 5 points. What's the fifth element?
Spirit. Represented by the Hebrew letter Shin. When Shin is put into IHVH, you get IHSHVH, often seen as the manifested divine, Jesus or Yahweh made manifest. Spirit is the quintessence. It binds the elements into form, but also keeps them distinct.
So the goal is balance.
Often, yes.
Yeah.
Identifying and correcting elemental imbalances in your own life. A divine juggling act, as DuQuette calls it, bringing harmony and focus.
Which leads us to the pentagram rituals, starting with the most famous one, the lesser ritual of the pentagram, the LRP.
The LRP foundational, ubiquitous in Western esotericism. Its purpose is grounding, protection, establishing a sacred circle, and developing visualization and concentration. Daily spiritual hygiene for many.
How does it work, basically?
First, the Kabbalistic cross.
Okay.
Touching forehead, chest, shoulders, visualizing light, affirming connection to the divine, centering yourself on the tree of life.
Okay.
Then, facing east, south, west, north, you trace specific pentagrams in the air, vibrating powerful divine names, IHVH, ADNI, AHIH, AGLA. And you invoke the archangels of the quarters, Raphael, Gabriel, Michael, Oriel, creating a sealed space.
And the vibration is important.
Crucial. It's not just saying the names. You breathe the name in, feel it descend, then step forward, thrust hands out the sign of Horus or Enterer, and vibrate the name forcefully outwards with the breath, imagining it filling the universe.
Intense.
Very. The effect seals the circle, creating a kind of spiritual vacuum that's immediately filled by the inrush of the macrocosm, the bigger reality, symbolized by the hexagram. The magician works from this protected, empowered position.
And the greater ritual GRP, what's that for?
More advanced. Invoking or banishing specific elements. Need more fire energy. Invoke fire. Too much emotional turbulence. Water. Banish water.
How?
Using active and passive spirit pentagrams to unlock the door to the elements, then specific elemental pentagrams to command them, plus specific physical gestures, the signs of the grades for each element. Your body becomes a living symbol, aligning microcosm with macrocosm.
Then we get to the specifically Thelemic pentagram rituals, hybrids.
Developed by Crowley. And they represent a significant shift in consciousness. It's shifted from the earth to the sun, from the human to the divine. You identify with the sun, the central star.
Like Liber XXV, the star ruby.
Exactly. A ritual to invoke the energies of the Aeon of Horus. It uses Greek names. Pentagrams are often visualized, not drawn, and movement can be widdershins, counterclockwise.
Counterclockwise. Isn't that usually negative?
In some traditions, yes. Here it's recontextualized, and the key innovation is invoking Pan, the great all, through the NOx formula.
NOx, Night of Pan.
Light withdrawn. Think of it as the void, the silence before creation, the deep potentiality, the negative pulse of the creation-dissolution cycle. Like pralaya in Hinduism. It's juxtaposed with LVX, light in extension, the manifest light. Embracing that darkness, that potential, is key to the Horus Aeon.
And Liber V, Vel Reguli.
An incantation proper to invoke the energies of the Aeon of Horus. Crowley's notes clarify its connection to the tree of life and the chakras, bridging Western and Eastern systems.
Uses averse pentagrams, upside down.
Yes. But DuQuette stresses this isn't matter triumphing over spirit. It symbolizes spirit descending into matter. Incarnation, divinity embracing the physical, essential for manifesting will on earth.
How is it performed?
Specific gestures, powerful cries. Inuai, Thordemrian. Babylon, had it. I was. Tracing the invoking hexagram of the beast, performing a centripetal spiral widdershins, the spiral dance, drawing energy inward.
And the words of power, Lashtal.
Represents the alchemical process. LA, not dissolution. AL2, duality manifestation, SHT, Rahurquet, the result synthesis, dissolving and reforming consciousness.
So master the microcosm with pentagrams, then move to the macrocosm with hexagrams.
That's the traditional progression. The hexagram, the six-pointed star, symbolizes union of opposites, fire and water triangles interlocking. On the tree of life, it connects the magician, often Geber 4, with the HGA, Tifrith 6, cosmic integration.
Crowley had his own version, the unicursal hexagram.
Yes, drawable in one line. Emphasizes unity, flow, a very Thelemic symbol. The lesser ritual of the hexagram, LRH, follows the LRP, using traditional signs like Osiris risen LVX.
But the big one is Liber XX66, the star sapphire.
Considered Crowley's greatest contribution to Western Hermeticism. And DuQuette confronts a key point here. All magic is sexual. Indeed, all life is sexual.
Okay, let's clarify that immediately. Not literal sex acts, necessarily.
Not necessarily, no. It's not a blind for exotic sex acts. Sex here is symbolic of the fundamental union of opposites, spirit matter, male-female, self-other, that underlies all creation and leads to something greater. Ecstasy, gnosis, union with the divine, the HGA. It can be practiced physically, but the principle is universal and can be worked purely internally, symbolically. It's about the creative merging force.
Got it. And the ritual itself, The holy hexagram.
The language is potent. Plunge from the height, O God, and interlock with man. Plunge from the height, O man, and interlock with beast. It's about divine grace descending, red triangle, and human aspiration ascending, blue triangle.
Interchange.
The interchange, the double gift of tongues, the word of double power abracadabra, is the sign of the great work, for the great work is accomplished in silence. The silence isn't literal quiet. It's that state beyond words, profound realization.
How does it work mechanically?
Invoking through 4 holy hexagrams, each links to an element and unifying opposites within it, like Father, Mother, and Fire, Mother, Son, and Earth. Then returning to the center for the rosy cross, the union of the magic rood, balanced self, and the mystic rose, spiritual unfoldment.
And it concludes with that formula.
Omnia in duos, duo in unum, unus in nihil. All in two, two in one in nothing. Dissolution back into the infinite potential, the void.
So putting this all together, these rituals aren't just symbolic gestures.
Not at all. They're active engagements with archetypal forces, cosmic principles, tools designed to reshape inner consciousness and consequently outer reality, sophisticated systems for transformation.
But it raises a question. How do you balance this disciplined, formulaic approach with the often spontaneous, overwhelming nature of actual spiritual contact? Where does personal gnosis fit in?
That leads directly to the ultimate aim, the peak of Thelemic practice, the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel.
The HGA DuQuette calls this the single supreme ritual.
Absolutely, the pinnacle, the raising of the complete man in a vertical straight line. Direct spiritual ascent. Everything else, any other magical operation, is considered black magic or diversion, unless it's a necessary step towards this specific goal.
Where does this HGA concept come from?
Its modern formulation traces significantly to the Book of the Sacred Magic of Abraham Mellon the Mage, a 15th century grimoire. It introduced a radical idea. To gain real power, the magician must first become spiritually superior. To exercise godlike powers, one must be godlike.
That shifted magic towards self-development.
Profoundly. Elevated towards something like yoga or alchemy, internal transformation, not just external manipulation.
And the HGA itself, what is it?
Abraham Mellon posits a unique spiritual being for each person. More than just your higher self. Its true nature is incomprehensible until you unite with it. Kabbalistically, the magician is often Malkuth, the material world, Hayfinal, the princess. The HGA is Tifereth, harmony, the perfected self, Vav, the prince. Their union creates a higher being.
And only then can you get reliable guidance.
From the only reliable source, ourselves. Meaning that integrated higher self, the HGA, its domain is Tifereth, the heart center on the tree of life.
The traditional Abraham Mellon ritual sounds intense. 6 months.
Arduous. 6 months, uninterrupted prayer, fasting, devotion, cultivating this overwhelming hunger for the angel.
But then the demon summoning, that seems contradictory after all that piety.
It does, but DuQuette's explanation is crucial. You are not operating in a vacuum, as above, so below. The angel descends with grace, but you then have to descend and integrate that grace into your lower nature, your subconscious desires, fears, symbolized by the demons.
So it's about integrating the shadow.
Exactly. If you don't redeem, control, and train the menagerie of your lower nature, they'll eventually sabotage you. His corporate analogy is perfect. The workers will eventually revolt if management does not share the benefits. You have to bring your whole self into alignment, not just the good parts.
Holistic integration. Makes sense. Did Crowley himself do this 6-month ordeal?
He tried twice, failed due to interruptions, but he eventually succeeded in 1906 while walking across China.
Walking across China, how?
Through a purely mental operation. He visualized the entire ritual temple, tools, everything with incredible focus. So focused, he apparently fell off a cliff with his pony and barely noticed.
Wow, that's concentration.
That success proved the method was flexible. It led him to develop Liber Samekh, which he called the most powerful and exalted of his instructions for attaining the HGA.
Based on the Golden Dawn's bornless ritual.
Yes, but Crowley added his interpretations of the barbarous names. Traditionally, they work because they're unintelligible to the conscious mind, but Crowley decoded them. For instance, a name linked to the devil, he interpreted as Capricorn Egipan, the all, symbolizing positive forces like courage, power, triumph, reclaiming the symbols.
And Liber Samekh is performed mentally too.
Yes, primarily in the body of light, visualized. The first part, the oath, rehearses the angel's attributes, identifies it with the highest divine principles, Ein Sof, Kether, Hadit, and Newton. The angel is myself made perfect.
And it links to the new Eon.
Yes. The Hierophant is Horus. The candidate is Horus. It's natural growth, like occult puberty, not death rebirth. The HGA is the unconscious creature, self, the spiritual phallus, generative potential.
Very different framing.
Very. The angel created opposites, laid down the law of love, produced seeds fruit, involution, evolution. The magician then charges the angel, invoking the one substance of Hermes for communion, commanding all spirits to obey the unified will.
Invoking the elements uses those barbarous names.
Yes, Arthief, air, arrow, go, rubero, fire, conceived as a solar phallic lion. Ru, abra, IFF, water. Emeberiao, birth, specific names, specific visualizations. Then the spirit invocation, AFT, ABAFT, base AOMGN, identifying the angel as Lord of all, whose voice is magical power and wisdom.
And the climax, the rapture and attainment.
The union, intense spiritual possession, a tempest of brilliant light, an outburst of sound beyond normal hearing, but deeply meaningful.
You're swept away.
Realizing his angel is indeed himself, perfected. Intimacy becomes identity. All questions answered. A spade of stars, infinite potential unlocked.
The conscious realization, I am he, the bornless spirit.
Exactly. Separateness destroyed. You become immortal fire, the creative self. Understand truth as duality within unity. The angel's mouth ever flameth with creative power. Its name is the heart girt with a serpent. Wisdom, eternity.
And
the charge to the spirit. Adept and angel unified go forth to do their pleasure on the earth among the living, manifesting the will. Crowley adds his own formula, IAF, Sabath, linked to 666 and 70. INI, Devil Pan, Sun, signifying his mission to share this mystery.
And the key instruction.
Simply, invoke often. Consistent practice is the path.
But there are warnings.
Big ones. It involves the utter destruction of his point of view. The angel's perspective transcends human concerns. Time, logic may seem invalid. The ecstasy can be overwhelming. Be strong, then canst thou bear more rapture. Knowing the angel's name is vital.
Crowley's own experience sounds harrowing. Led to the abyss.
Yes. Forsaken then, reborn within the womb of Babylon, the receptive manifesting principle, with the angel now abiding in my virgin heart, its lord and lover. This union made him Magus, speaker of the word for the new Aeon.
This isn't theory then. It's presented as a real, profoundly transformative, identity-shifting experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. And connecting this to the bigger picture, it marks that shift from external dogma to an intense individual relationship with your own divine core, your true self. That's the essence.
And this essence manifests not just in that supreme ritual, but in daily life and other ceremonies.
Yes. Thelema is often described as solar worship, but with a new relationship to the sun. DuQuette notes all great religions are, at core, often solar, based on the sun cycle.
Our ancestors saw the connections, sun phallus, sunlight, blood semen, life force.
And modern science deepens it, especially the understanding of the sun as continuous, not dying daily. That fits the Horus Aeon continuous light, not the dying God cycle.
Two key solar rituals, Liber Resh and the Mass of the Phoenix.
Liber Resh is simple. 4 daily adorations, dawn, noon, sunset, midnight, based on Egyptian forms but customized for Thelemic principles.
What's its purpose?
Regular reminder of the great work, conscious connection to the sun, and for advanced practitioners, actually drawing energy, magical force from the sun. The imagery is the solar barge journeying through death and rebirth daily.
And the Mass of the Phoenix, that's the controversial one.
Liber XE4. Eucharistic, done at sunset to carry the sun's awareness through the night. Yes, controversial due to apparent self-mutilation.
But DuQuette clarifies this.
Strongly. He shares his own youthful mistake, using a scalpel, painful, messy, not spiritual. He warns against such literal stupidity.
So what is the intent?
It's a Eucharist, not self-mutilation. Pain isn't required. Use a scribe, he suggests, to lightly scratch the sign, mark of the beast, cross, whatever. Just enough for a tiny drop of blood. Fulfills the letter without harm.
And that blood?
The solar consecrated holy blood is then trapped in the cake of light and eaten by the magician. Symbolic communion.
The effect.
The sun's essence is sheltered within the magician till dawn. Done regularly, it's believed to renew the body cell by cell with divine solar nourishment.
The ceremony sounds evocative. Bare-breasted, burin, bell, thurible cakes.
Cries of Hail Ra, chanting Abrahadabra, burning one cake, marking the breast, staunching the drop with a second, eating it. The oath, there is no grace, there is no guilt. This is the law. Do what thou wilt. Then exiting with mirth to live it.
Symbolism of the phoenix.
Burning up in prayer, reborn, using all senses. Bell, sound, fire, sight, knife touch, cakes, taste, smell, lower life, feeding the higher, physical transformed to spiritual.
Okay. And the grand finale, the communal ritual, Liber XV, the Gnostic Mass.
Ecclesiasticae Catholicanon Missae, DuQuette saves it for last, calls it the exquisite expression of Thelemic cosmology. Written by Crowley in Moscow, 1913.
The temple setup is specific.
Very symbolic. High altar dimensions like the king's chamber sarcophagus linking to ancient initiation. Pillars, checkered dais balance, steels of revealing on the super altar with the Book of the Law, grail, veil, black cube altar, matter transmuted, font, tomb, death, resurrection.
And the officers, priest, priestess?
Priest, lance, priestess, Virgo intacto, sword, patent, cakes. Deacon, Book of the Law. 2 children elements. It begins with the deacon proclaiming the law. Do what thou wilt, congregation responds. Love is the law, love under will.
Then the creed. What does it affirm?
Belief in one secret Lord, one star, each individual. Father Chaos, Earthwomb Babylon, Serpent Lion Baphomet, Union of Opposites, the Gnostic Catholic Church of Thelema, Communion of Saints, the Miracle of the Mass, Transmutation, Baptism of Wisdom, Incarnation. It's a full cosmology.
And the priestess's role during the priest's preparation is significant.
Hugely. She purifies him. Mother be thou adored, Father be thou adored, robes him. Then, crucially, she divests herself completely of her rabe.
Naked. Why?
It directly references Liber A, Nuit's words, love me is better than all things. It symbolizes the naked splendor of Nuit, infinite space, the divine feminine manifesting directly, embracing beauty, freedom, vulnerability. A powerful statement.
And the collects mentions saints. Who's included?
An incredibly eclectic list. Lotse, Siddhartha, Krishna, Tahuti Thoth, Moshe, Moses, Dionysus, Muhammad, Hermes, Pan, Priapus, Osiris. And Crowley himself, to Megatherion. It claims a universal lineage of wisdom keepers.
Truly universal. The climax is the Eucharist, mystic marriage.
Yes. Priest touches cup with lance, be this wine the blood of God. Breaks host over cup, this is my seed. AUNGN. Priestess receives particle on lance point receptivity.
Priest blesses the people.
Makes cross, proclaims the law again. People respond, then communication. Priest eats host, there is no part of me that is not of the gods. Laity repeat as they partake. Direct affirmation of individual divinity.
And it ends with anthems.
Praising the Holy Spirit, male, female, quintessential one, true unity, sire and dam, the eternal Son. It's, definitely not your average Sunday service. Rich, symbolic, deliberately inverting and expanding traditional forms. What's fascinating is how it uses those familiar religious structures, mass, sacraments, priests, priestess, but to express this radical new consciousness. Divine within, every individual a star, direct embodied experience is the goal.
So we've covered a lot of ground today, a real deep dive. From debunking Crowley's notorious image to unpacking the core philosophy will, the eons. We looked at the Book of the Law, the rituals of self-mastery like the pentagrams, hexagrams, reaching for the HGA, and finally these unique solar and communal rites like Resh, Phoenix, and the Gnostic Mass.
I think the key takeaways are really Thelema's intense focus on individual will and self-mastery, that evolutionary view of spiritual understanding through the eons, the absolute necessity of integrating dualities, Isis, Osiris, male, female, light, dark, spirit, matter, and always the pursuit of direct personal spiritual experience, gnosis, as the ultimate goal.
And for you, listening, understanding these ideas, well, it can genuinely shift your perspective, can't it? On your own agency, on spiritual growth, on how human consciousness itself might be evolving. You've gained this new lens to view history, religion, maybe even your own path.
So here's a final thought to leave you with, building on that idea of the Aeon of Horus, the crowned and conquering child. If the individual is the basic unit, if we are these self-aware children striving for continuity for growth, what concrete willed actions might you take in your own life? How could you more fully embody that idea of the crowned and conquering child right here, right now in your modern world? What would operating purely from your true will actually look like for you?
Something to ponder. We definitely encourage you to explore Lon Milo DuQuette's The Magick of Thelema or other materials with an open mind. Maybe revisit some common ideas about spirituality through this lens of evolving magical formulae. Thanks for diving deep with us today.